organic content for 2026. Right, so what we're covering is why people scroll. I'm going to actually talk about the science behind it, the theory of the scroll, like what gets them to stop, the short form video framework that I use, which is hook, story, peak, reward, real examples from real videos that I have won with in the last 90 days, and then your next challenge. Today, we're going to be going over organic content for 2026. This is session 2 on organic content. We went over organic content last week. And so what we're going to start with, we're going to start a little bit differently here today, though. First, I want to jump in and I want to say a very big welcome to a couple of new members that we have to the Firearm Marketing Accelerator team. We've got Patricia Burris that has joined the team here from King Shooter Supply. And Patricia, if you are on the call, we'd love for you to unmute and say hello. Just introduce yourself real quick. Yuri says welcome in the chat. I don't see anybody named Patricia in here, but Patricia, if you are in, I would love for you to say hello. Feel free to message in the chat if you want me to come back to you. Another very warm welcome that we've got is Sue Wasserman. Now, this one's really interesting. She's from FFS Safety and Training. And in just a second, I'm going to Sue introduce herself. So Sue, if you want to go ahead and get unmuted now, that'd be great. I do see you in the call. But the reason this one's so interesting is that Sue is using the shooting range that I built and sold. And so it's just a really nostalgic moment that Sue is coming in and the range that I built. And Sue and I have a very long history together. We love Sue, but it's just amazing that this group has come full circle, that even the range that I built and sold is going to be involved in this. So Sue, just the warmest of welcomes. Welcome to the group, and I'd love for you to introduce yourself.
Hi, y'all. I'm Sue Wasserman from Florida Firearms Safety and Training, which is on the Gulf Coast of Florida, nearby Crystal River. I've been a trainer since 2021 and really excited to be here because I've always known that marketing has been my weakness. So I'm looking to level up. And thank you, Andy.
Well, welcome, Sue. I can't even tell you how excited I am that you're in this group. And so that also leads me, the team and I, Martin and MC, another guy on my team, we met with a third-party agency this week, and they called us warriors. They were like, you guys are warriors. And one of the things that I've always struggled with is what to call you guys. Do I call you clients, or do I call you customers, or do I call you, team members? And after that call, I think that I'm going to name everybody in this group officially warriors. And that's what we are, right? We're warriors for the Second Amendment. That's what we're doing, is the reason that we're building our skills in marketing is so that we can change the world. You guys are the warriors. You are on the front lines of the self-defense movement across the country. And so I'm going to start referring to you guys in text and emails and in person as warriors. And that's what I'm really excited for today. I'm sorry that it took a third party for me to figure that out, but I am excited that all you warriors are in this group and watching the call. And so that moves me over from new members to wins. All right. So I want to talk about wins that we've experienced in the last 7 days or so. And I know that there are some excellent wins. Why don't we start with Mr. Sean, who I am so excited to hear from.
July 11th, we did the 2A day, and kind of with the 2A day, we put on the largest LTC class in Texas history. I had a total of 80 students. It was a lot of work, went really good. So our ad campaign on Facebook got us, I believe, 40, and the cost of acquisition was just below 9. And then we also had advertised on our own end through our website. So we brought in just about $5,000 after the cost of everything, renting tables. Also had our county sheriff come in as a guest speaker. A lot of really good feedback. We sold a lot of training. We sold memberships along with that event. So that was a big success. And much thanks to Andy for helping coach me along to get there.
Man, fantastic, Sean. I've got your stats here on the screen from your ad, and I'll just share it. I wasn't going to share it, but I'll just go ahead and share it just because we are talking about wins. For this class, just on Facebook, he had a ton of signups in person also, but he had 55 through the ad, and his cost per acquisition, just like he said, is just under $9. So every time he gave Facebook $9 roughly, he got a new sign up for this largest LTC class. Now, that tells me that we're on to something with this largest class idea. This is a great idea for all of us to do. And we now have a funnel, one that I created, one that Sean created, and we can share those templates with you. And so in the back of your mind, I want you to start thinking about building the largest LTC class in your location, right? So I ran mine as the largest LTC class in Ocala history. And whatever you do in your city or state, I want you guys to start thinking about doing the largest LTC class in your state's history so that you can get people in. One of the reasons that Sean's campaign worked so well is that he had a natural sense of urgency, which is we know that in our irresistible offer, urgency is a construct of time. So why today, right? And the reason why today is that he did the largest LTC class only in one day, right? LTC stands for license to carry. It's kind of what Texas uses, Byron. So Texas is, right? My state's like CCW or concealed carry permit, right? CCP, things like that. And so, the sense of urgency was that they had to sign up for that one day because this was a big event, one day only. So naturally he had urgency. Naturally he had scarcity because he could literally only fit 80 people. A couple of the reasons that this worked so well is that he had those senses of urgency and natural senses of scarcity. And when we're doing senses of urgency and scarcity, guys, it's really important that we kind of understand like urgency and scarcity cannot just be like seats are limited, because that's kind of fake, right? Think about everybody in this room. The reason that you're in this room is because your seats haven't been limited for a long time. I mean, yeah, you can only fit a certain amount of people, but how often do we actually have full classes, right? So we want higher, more deeper sense of urgency and scarcity, and that one day only is a phenomenal idea to get that. So I want you guys to be thinking about that. Eureka says, was the range chaotic with that many people, or was it just the classroom? Go ahead, Sean.
So we literally called every single person, and I started running the shooting proficiency at 7 o'clock. We get 3 bays here that hold 6. So I ran groups of 18, starting at 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30. There were a lot of people, because we did the reduced costs on the class, that weren't ready to shoot, but they wanted to get the classroom portion done. We have them now as returning customers that are going to be coming in to do private instruction and eventually shoot the qualification. You have a year after you actually do the application and start the class to finish everything. So again, it was a little chaotic, but we got it done. Yeah. Good question,
great, Sean. Yeah, thank you for that. All right, what other wins do we have, guys? Would love to hear about more wins this week. If not, we'll jump into the PowerPoint.
I launched a book this week.
Murph launched a book this week.
I launched a book. I launched the BH2K book. I got it published on Amazon. Had did an email launch. Didn't have as many sales as I want to, but I think I'll get some more going over the next few. And then Facebook ads. We had 2 $2,500 sales last week.
Wow.
$2,500 packages. So that was a pretty good week.
And what were those packages?
Personal training.
Yeah, phenomenal.
So they were personal training packages. The gun classes are fucking dead.
Are they dead? Okay.
Yeah, dead.
We got to work on that. What if we have the largest LTC class in Massachusetts history?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. Yep. Let's do it, man. I'm totally down for that. Message me on Slack. I'll walk you through it.
I got you.
Hey, Murph, what's the book? If you send a link, maybe some of us here would be interested in buying it.
I think you would definitely be interested in it. It's called Become Hard to Kill. It's 37 years training observations on. It's not just a training and nutrition manual. It's a system that I've been coaching people through forever. I'll drop a link to my funnel. Maybe you upsell too a little bit. The ebook's only $12. So, and the print copy, as you know, on Amazon, it's $35. I make $3 off of that.
Yeah.
That's insane. I'll throw a link in the chat. Thank you. I think you guys might like it. Not trying to sell.
Yeah, drop a link in the. I messaged on Instagram or commented on Instagram trying to figure out how to find it. But yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna buy. I'll be your customer also. Good work. And just as a side note, if you do read the book and you find it valuable, Murph would love a video testimonial from you. I can tell you that already. So if you guys want to do that, that'd be awesome. Murph, you are muted if you're talking to us.
I would love a video testimonial or an Amazon review.
Yep. Well, I'll do both for sure. Awesome. Murph, congratulations. What other wins do we have before we move on?
We were able to identify a location for us to hold our classes. I had been sending emails. Nobody was biting. So then we're like, lifetime members of the VFW, let's go talk to them, So we did. And we basically have the room for $30 an hour, and it's actually, we get it for the whole day, but we only pay for 5 hours. So we could do 2 classes, 2 sessions in one day because we get it for the full day.
Wow. Good for you. Yuri, that is so exciting.
Yeah.
That is so exciting. Congratulations. I just want to point out, guys, when Yuri was looking for classes, this is just another form of sales. And a lot of people send out 5 emails and say, I can't find anywhere, nowhere exists. But what you notice is that Yuri sent out email after email after email after email, and she didn't stop, right? She didn't stop. And that's why she won. And so I want you guys to understand that when you're looking for something, when you're trying to make a sale, you have to not stop. Success is on just one more no until the yes, right? And just how many no's until the yes. Congratulations, Yuri. That is amazing. All right, guys, moving on to the PowerPoint here. So today is, again, organic content, and I do have a screen share in mind. I'm hoping that the internet allows me to do that. What we're going to walk through is we're going to walk through our 7-day challenge check-in. So I want to know from people who posted, did people get involved in the 7-day challenge? I know that Grant and Remy got involved in the 7-day challenge, but Grant is in emergency surgery. Let's all throw up some prayers for him today. He could lose sight in his right eye, and we do not want that to happen. We just, we just really pray for God to work his miracles in that. But I want to know for the rest of us, did we publish? Who posted their first video ever? Who got their best views yet? What did you learn? What stopped you? So let me know, guys. Did we publish? Even if it's a no, go ahead and unmute and let me know.
That we recorded it. I'm editing right now. So
all right, let's start it today, Yuri. Start publishing those 7 videos today. Great. What else? Who else?
So we actually did all 7. Our 7th one is going up later on today. We actually, in the last 4 days, we've gained just over 2,500 followers in Facebook. So we've officially surpassed the 10,000, the 10,000 mark for followers. And the video my mom did about our lady shoots actually got the most between Facebook and Instagram was just shy of 10,000 views between the two.
Wow.
My mom about dropped dead when I told her.
That's phenomenal. What a win. Glad to hear it. Now, April, do you think if you hadn't done the 7-day challenge, this growth would have happened?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Great work.
I had to get over that hump of doing it. And sure enough, it's actually pretty easy. I was making it harder by not doing it.
Yeah. Record, edit, publish. It doesn't matter if it's trash. It doesn't matter if it's a video on the...
It'll get better.
Yes. You'll get better at your skills. Yes.
Just wait. We've got one coming up with my uncle's dog who you met.
Yes.
I got him a tactical vest.
You've got Meatloaf coming in.
Meatloaf will be posted tomorrow as the head of security for Bob's Little Sports Shop.
Good for you. That's exciting. Great work. Well, congratulations. All right. Who else?
I got the first 2 out, and I have some others in editing, but we have been on the fast track of trying to get our very, very first Facebook ads in the whole campaign and working on the guide and all of that. And we ran into some snags in getting our everything transferred over to Hello Hero. It took the first time I contacted her and said, please transfer our account over to Warrior Marketing. It took her almost 3 weeks,
how many weeks?
3.
Oh my gosh. It's one button.
I'll have to send you her. And she never, ever took any responsibility. It was, oh, well, yesterday, and I didn't share this one with Jim, it was, oh, well, we found the first hiccup was inside of Go High Level or whatever. And then it was like, oh, you hadn't accepted the invite and stuff. And from what we were talking with Jim, and there were all kinds of hiccups she had to talk to tech about. And in talking to Jim, it sounds like, I wonder if she was just dragging her heels and didn't have the time and using excuses, but the whole time. And I have to say, the 6 years with her helped me get to where we are today. We would not be at the level we are advancing to today without going through that, because it's basically the same mother company, both systems. So they are pretty much identical.
She got us ready for Andy.
She got us ready for Andy. And Andy, Jim, and his whole team, I am absolutely 100% clear that you are our missing link. We are where we need to be, and it took this pathway to be ready for you. We wouldn't have known what to ask or what to do without going down this path. Now we're ready, and I feel like we're right at the top of the hill. We've taken all this time to get to the top of the hill, and once we go over, it's going to snowball like nobody's business, and we are going to up level like crazy.
That's what you got to post.
Yeah. Welcome to the top of the hill. I'm excited to be
Thank
on this
you.
journey with you. Thank you so much, Glenda. Appreciate that. All right.
So
We'll talk
anyway,
about
the videos kind of got sidelined.
No, you're good. We love you. We love you. All right. So let's do one more update on the 7-day check-in. Shawnee, did you end up getting the 7 days done, or are you just doing that organically in your life already?
Try to post every day, but I did do 2 different things. I did my first reaction video I posted last night. That's getting some traction. Got I think like 2,500 views on it. A lot of good comments and things like that. And I posted, the classes that Tony teaches by himself, my husband teaches by himself, I usually don't go to the class. Now, one day I said, let me step down and see what he's doing. I took some recordings and I chopped that up and added it in with some B-roll from the range, and that turned out to be a good video.
Good work, Shawnee. Proud of you. Well, congratulations. That's amazing. If anybody else wants to share their 7-day challenge, the chat is open and I can read the chats from here. I got new glasses, so we're good to see those chats. But congratulations to everybody that partook. It is very exciting to see. And Murph, I see, added the link to his book into the chat too. So that said, we're going to really focus in on today framework that I use for short-term videos, right? So what we're covering is why people scroll. I'm going to actually talk about the science behind it, the theory of the scroll, like what gets them to stop, the short form video framework that I use, which is hook, story, peak, reward, real examples from real videos that I have won with in the last 90 days, and then your next challenge. And so the theory of the scroll, all right? So people are not like, they're not just watching social media, right? What they're doing is they're hunting, they're searching. And what they're searching for is a dopamine hit. That's actually scientifically proven. What they're looking for is a small dopamine hit. That's why social media can get addicted, is because just like anything else that hits your dopamine, it can be addictive. Just, one of the things that I have on my phone is every time somebody buys my book or makes a payment, right, my phone goes cha-ching, and it's a little dopamine hit every single time. I'm addicted to making that happen more often, right? Like, that's why I work so much, is that I want that to continue to happen. It's a little dopamine hit. And that's what's happening on social media, is that they're hunting for that dopamine hit, right? They're hunting for it. So if they get a laugh, a surprise, a lesson, a feeling, that is a dopamine hit. I mean, think about a video can make you laugh, cry, give you information. And each one of those things are feelings that they're getting from this. So when they don't find, when their brain says, I'm not going to get the dopamine hit from this video, they scroll. And oftentimes, think about it, as you're scrolling social media, what I want you to notice is, why did I scroll? Like, the next time you watch a video for like a half a second and you scroll by it, go back to it and say to yourself, why did I skip it? Try to understand your own behavior, to understand what your brain did, so that you can understand what others are doing, right? So oftentimes I see a video for like literally less than half a second and I just scroll by it. And then I'm like, why? Why did I do that? And the answer is, go back and look and understand why, so that you can make your videos not like that, right? So that you can learn that lesson. So the dopamine hit is the same reasons that slot machines work, or I've got a pinball machine here in my office, right? Every time I'm on this pinball machine, of course it's Star Wars, right? All the lights and the flashing and the ball flying, right? It's the same reason that I love that pinball machine, is that it's producing these dopamine hits all the time. It has variations to the rewards that keep people pulling the lever, or keep people pushing the button, or keep people watching, right? So most videos are a miss. I publish, I think I'm up to 15 videos every single day, through my team. And most of those videos get a couple hundred views, which is still great, because if I was standing in front of a group of 300 people and I was giving a presentation, that would be a win for me, right? I would be like, yeah, that was a worthy use of my time. And so most of these videos get between 100 and 300 views, but every once in a while we get the millions, and that's what we're seeking, right? The unpredictability is what keeps them scrolling. So if people don't know what they're about to get, that's what's going to keep them scrolling. So your job is to be that hit, be that slot machine trigger pull, be that paddle in the pinball machine to get people to continue to watch that video, right? That's your goal. And so dopamine in a video can come from something unexpected in the first frame. So they were scrolling, seeing all these talking heads, then boom, they see a gun, right? A statement that creates tension or curiosity. The first words that you say are the most important, but we're going to be talking today about what's even more important than the first words. A question they might need answered, a feeling they didn't expect to have. The reward is at the end, which is what makes them share it. Okay, so when you think about my framework has 4 parts to it, and each of those parts I've designed to do something different. But your video views mean nothing if people aren't going to share. Your video views mean nothing if people aren't going to comment, right? So sharing is the dopamine, is also what creates that dopamine as well. So this is my framework. My framework, if you're writing things down, it's hook, story, peak, and reward, okay? Hook, story, peak, and reward. So we're going to talk a lot about hooks today, also the story and how to present that, the peak, and then the reward. And just to let you know, the reward is what makes them follow you. If they got the reward that they needed from your video, they will hit the follow button. This is how I've generated I have been slack on reaction videos this week, which typically do like millions of views for me. I was like, oh my God, I need to hit my own 7-day challenge. So I made 7 reaction videos just a couple days ago, and 3 of the 7 got like over 1 million views. And in those reaction videos, the reward is what got people to actually stop that video and hit follow. To go to my profile and hit follow is because the reward that they got from that video. And so each of these elements is designed to get them to do something. Hook is designed to get them to stay past the 3 seconds. Story is designed to get them to hear what you have to say. Peak is designed to get them on the edge of their seat. And then a reward is designed to get them to follow, right? And so the framework that I'm using isn't new, right? And in fact, every part of marketing that I teach you is not new. It's existed for hundreds of years. We just apply it differently, right? We just apply it differently. What I'm teaching you is how to apply marketing to our industry using our tools, right? That's what I'm teaching you. And so the best storytellers in the world have used this framework for years, centuries. Hollywood, novels, campfire stories, right? You think about, any Marvel movie or any movie that you like, Star Wars, whatever, it all has a hook, a story, a peak, and a reward, right? Each one has these. And so we're just applying it in 60 seconds. The scroll itself is the new medium, right? And there will always be a new medium. TikTok is the latest, but there will be something else, right? And the scroll and the way we scroll is new, but human psychology, which is really what I'm teaching you the art of persuasion, right? Human psychology is not new. Everything has been there for a long time. So your hook, it needs to stop the scroll, obviously. You've got 3 seconds, but I'll tell you what, the next time you scroll through a video, immediately, I want you to count, like, was that 3 seconds or was that not 3 seconds, right? You've got 3 seconds by standard terms. So I don't want you to introduce yourself, and I don't want you to say, hey guys, right? Hey guys, this is Andy. I used to say that all the time. Hey guys, this is Andy with Florida Gun Supply, XYZ, right? And I've just wasted all of that time, and I've gotten so many people to scroll. The only people that are interested in that are people who know Andy or know Florida Gun Supply when I was making videos for Florida Gun Supply, right? And so I don't want you to say, hey guys, or introduce yourself. That's irrelevant. Just get right into it. Get to the point. Create that tension. Make them need to know what comes next. Now, that said, there's 2 types of hooks. There's visual hooks, what you see, which I think is way more important than your content hook. And then there's content hook. And so in visual hooks start before you ever say a word, before you ever say anything. The very second that they see the first frame. So when I hired Jediah and when I hired Henry and Mike, they were creating videos that in the beginning, like the video fades in, right? And so the very first frame was black. And we published like 15 or 20 videos, maybe more than that, before I realized that. And what happened was that was my visual hook. My visual hook is just blackness. Nobody's gonna stay through that, right? And so we made a rule. The very first frame is immediately the hook, right? Is immediately the hook. And so an extreme close-up of a gun, a hand, an action already in progress, something happening mid-action, no setup, no intro, just get to it, right? Just get to it. Just get right into it. An unusual or expected camera angle, movement, something that is already moving when the video starts. Drop them into the moment. Don't build up to it. Drop them into the moment. And I'll give you some examples. All right. So this is Yuri. Yuri, you have done amazing for me on social media. In fact, in the last 90 days, you are my most viewed video. Congratulations. That's exciting, right? And so I am going to share my screen here and we're going to show you the video. All right. So my screen should be sharing now. Here it is. This is my third, Yuri, you're my 3rd most viewed video in the last 90 days, not the top one. So it's gotten 1 million views, right? 1 million views. And I'll show you why. There it goes. Okay. So I'm going to copy the link to the reel.
If your shots keep missing, your trigger press could be the problem. Here's how to fix it. Slowly add pressure. Go slow on the trigger. Nice and slow. Slow on the trigger. Turn it face me. So magazine out. Bring that target home and let's see how you did.
It's there.
Best shot you've had the whole time, right? Yeah. All right. Let's do.
If your shots. So what I want you to notice is first the visual hook. The gun is there. The pen is here. That's the visual hook, right? Very first second of the frame, I've got the gun and I've got a pen. I'm not sitting here with a video of me saying, hey guys, this is Andy. Watch what we do, right? there's times for that, but for this video, one of the reasons that it works so well is that I've got a visual hook right off the bat. There's a gun and a pen. And most people in this room, or people that have trained with me at least, they know what I do with a pen. I think a pen is a fantastic training aid for trigger pull, a click pen. And if you know me, that particular pen is the only pen I will ever have in my hand. It is just amazing. If you want to give me a Christmas gift, give me a pile of those pens. But so that's the visual hook, right? And I think that the visual hook is more important than the content hook. But go ahead and listen to the content hook again. I'm just going to show you the first 3 seconds.
If your shots keep missing, your trigger press could be the problem.
If your shots keep missing, your trigger press could be the problem. Now, I did not create that hook. My guy, Mike, created that hook. Mike, this video is yours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was Mike. Mike created this hook for me. That's actually AI that he created to sound like me, and he created this hook. And he is just really, really good at those hooks. And so again, I'll play that hook for you again.
If your shots keep missing, your trigger press could be the problem.
Boom, right there, we are now deep in our hook, right? That is it, the hook is over. Now we're going to our storytelling. So I'm gonna press the button.
Here's how to fix it. Slowly add pressure. Go slow on the trigger. Nice and slow.
So slowly add pressure. Go slow on the trigger, nice and slow. This is storytelling. That's what's happening here.
Slow on the trigger.
That bang right there, that was the peak. That was the peak of the video. Now we're transitioning to the next. All right, finger off the trigger, turn it face me. So magazine out. Bring that target home and let's see how you did.
Best shot you've had the whole time, right?
The reward is the best shot she's had the entire time. That's the reward, right? That's the reward. That's what makes all of these people follow me from this video. And let's see if I can get the stats on that, right? 346 follows from that. And let's see, does it show us how many shares? Yep, 66 shares, 741 saves. So 741 people found that video so helpful that they want to save it to come back and watch later, right? That is the epitome of the framework in action, right? And I think that that video is a very, very strong example of a visual hook. Now, I'm going to go to my top video in the last 90 days, which happens to have been published like 3 days ago. And let me show you what this one is, okay? So in this video, I want you to notice the visual hook. Now, this is a reaction video. It's a 1080 by 1080 reaction video. And if you notice, the visual hook is this. This is the visual hook. I'm just using me for movement, right? I've got to introduce the video, and here's what it is.
Here's why gun safety should be taught before you hand somebody a gun.
Here's why gun safety should be taught before somebody hands you a gun, right? It took me 0.2 seconds to record it. I uploaded it to Google Photos, which allows me to access it to my computer. I downloaded it to my computer, put it into Premiere, and then put the two videos together. That's how this video was. So I'm exactly at 3 seconds. My hook is over. Once again, visual hook and my audio hook. So listen up.
Here's why gun safety should be taught before you hand somebody a gun.
Right now, even though even though there's no audio, right? People just laughing, we're in storytelling mode, right? So it's hook to story. So listen to the story.
A gun.
All the story is right now, it's just people laughing.
No, because you might hit your hand. You can't hold no gun. You gotta keep your hand. Don't hit my hand. I got stick my hand right.
That movement was the peak. Okay, that movement where she pointed the gun right at the camera person, that was the peak, right? Right at the camera person, and then the reward is coming.
Move!
Here's why gun safety should be taught before you hand somebody a gun.
That was the reward. All right. I'm hoping it came through on Zoom properly, but that was the reward, is her actually firing and almost hitting herself in the face with this gun, right? And so when you look at it, 659 follows, 1,100 saves, and 1,600 shares, right? Because that was perfectly executed content. And it's just a reaction video, which means it's very low energy to create. It's just a simple reaction video. Okay, and then let's see the second most viewed here. It was published the same day, right? And so it's important to see that the reason that it's important to notice that it's published the same day as this one, because it doesn't matter. Like my son creates YouTube videos and he publishes like one video and then waits like 3 days and then publishes another one. There's never a need for that. Just get your content out there. So here comes the hook.
Even machine gun instructors need quick reflexes.
Even machine gun instructors need quick reflexes. And if you notice, I took my visual hook is the actual muzzle blast, which I do this often. If there's a gun in front of me and I can get a visual hook, I'm gonna get a visual hook of the fire coming out of the gun. So if you notice on this video, I actually have it way over to the left. It's cutting off my face so that I can fit that visual hook in there, right? So I'm sacrificing my face so that I can get a better visual hook, right? So once again, we'll go to our visual hook here.
Even machine gun instructors need quick reflexes.
Right? That's the video, right? That's the whole video. Hook plus visual hook. Then the story is what actually happens. The peak is this dude flying off the machine gun, right? And the reward is that everybody's okay at the end. That's the reward, right? And so this is just the top 3 videos over the last 90 days, 2 of which I published 3 days ago, like literally an hour from each other. And it became one of my top videos over the last 90 days. And these reaction videos are super easy to do. I'm already scrolling through my newsfeed. So as I'm scrolling through my newsfeed and I find a good video that could make a great piece of content, I stop what I'm doing. I send that video to myself via email. And then once I send it to myself via email, I make it a rule that at some point every single day, I've been lax on it lately, but at some point I've got to go in and actually make those videos. And it's just a quick reaction video that is designed to get a lot of interest, designed to get the follows, right? It's not, obviously, I'm not going to earn revenue off of these videos except for the revenue that I get from Facebook. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build that follower count so that when somebody sees my other content about firearm instructors and about marketing, they go to my page, they see that I've got 100,000 followers and they're like, okay, this guy's got to be legit, right? This is the process that people are going to use when they're deciding whether you're legit or not, is how many follows do you have on Facebook? What's the content you're creating? They're going to investigate you because remember, there's 3 things that they're risking when they come and take your class. They risk their physical safety, they risk their money, and they risk their time. And so they need to make sure that all 3 of those things are going to be covered, and your content is going to be one of those things that they digest in that process. And so the visual hook, I think, is just as important, if not more, than the audio hook, right? Than the content hook. So visual hooks, I went over the real example there. So content hooks, I think we've covered it. It's what you go over in the first 3 seconds. Lead with the result, right? Not the setup. Identify a problem they didn't know we had, right? And the one that we gave an example of with Yuri with 1 million views, if you're not hitting your shot, here could be part of your problem, right? That's really quickly, what it is in the first 3 seconds. Like if you're not hitting your shot, this could be the reason why. Make a bold statement that demands a reaction. Ask a question they cannot scroll past. Create a knowledge gap so they've got to watch it. And then if you read the comments on the video, right, there are thousands of likes on the video with Yuri. But the majority of the comments are actually negative. And it's because the people that are chiming in the gun industry, right, this is just common. This is what to expect. If it happens to you, it doesn't matter, okay? As long as you haven't fudged up and uploaded something that you shouldn't have. For instance, Josh caught this. My team had created a piece of content about me explaining a magazine release and a slide stop. And I pointed at the slide stop and said magazine release, and I pointed at the magazine release and said slide stop. I got them backwards. Had I published that video, I would have been crucified by the internet, and that would have been my fault, right? But luckily Josh caught that. If you are uploading content and that content is okay, you are going to get gun people that come in no matter what you do, and they're going to talk smack. There's going to be thousands of people who like that, but the only thing you're going to see are the comments, right? The 50 comments that are negative. Guys, it's just part of the gun community, right? People are just nasty. Delete, ban, move on. It doesn't matter, right? Got to have thick skin in this game because the gun community are a bunch of know-it-alls that want to just tear you down. And I think that they're hunting for, I think their dopamine hit comes when they can find a video that has a problem in it and they can talk smack. I think that's where their dopamine comes from, right? And so content hooks, real examples, we just kind of went over those examples. So story, all right? So we went from hook to story. We want to keep them watching. We want to build the tension. Build the tension. If you noticed, in the video of the machine gun or the video of the mother that had the gun, right? If you notice, I don't show the action shot right away, all right? Take a look. I want you to see how many seconds actually go by.
Even machine gun instructors need quick reflexes.
1, 2, 3, right? So at the 3rd second mark, that's when the action starts. But the story is the 1, 2, 3 seconds in between, right? And just like on this video, if you take a look,
If your shots keep missing, your trigger press could be the problem. Here's how to fix it. Slowly add pressure.
I could have cut this whole thing. We could have cut this out. Slowly add pressure, slowly add pressure. We could have cut that out. But that's the storytelling, right? We don't get into the peak right away because that'll make the tension not build up. When we're saying slowly add pressure, the tension's building.
Could be the problem. Here's how to fix it. Slowly add pressure. Go slow on the trigger. Nice and slow. Slow on the trigger.
So every single time I say slow on the trigger, which I actually say when I'm working with a shooter on this particular drill, every time I'm saying slow, what's happening in the video is the tension is building, the tension is building, and the tension is building. One of the reasons that this video got 1 million views is because we built up the tension very well in the story. The tension was built. And so we don't want to just give them the shot and then show what happened. We want to build that tension. That's what worked in this video. And again, in the machine gun video, the fact that the machine gun didn't go off right away, the tension was building. That's why it worked so well. The woman that had the gun that pointed at the camera and then almost hits her face in it, the tension was building when they were laughing. And then when she points the gun, we are at the peak, and then the reward was her almost hitting herself in the face, right? That's how that works. And so you want to build the tension. And in your videos, I don't want you to think a whole lot about this. I just want you to think hook, story, peak, reward. And as you're creating your video, I just want you to think in the back of your mind, what is my hook? What is my visual hook? What is my story? What is my peak? And what is my reward? And if you have that intentionally in your videos will perform better, period. Okay? So at your story, you're giving them just enough context to care. You're setting up the problem, the moment, the situation. Keep it tight. Every sentence must earn its place. No dead air, no filler, no so basically. Shawnee noticed that she says so all the time and her husband says actually all the time, and she cuts those words out because they don't do any benefit, right? So peak. This is the moment that everything really like builds up and then pays off, right? And so this is the answer. It's reveal. It's the transformation. It's what they stayed for. So you need to make it land and don't rush past it. If your peak is weak, they won't share it. If your peak is weak, they won't share it. They're sharing because of the peak, okay? And then the reward. This is to give them something to take with them. A lesson, a tip, a feeling, a laugh. The reward is what gets shared. Reward is what makes them follow you. Ask yourself, what does someone walk away with this video? Were they entertained? Did they get information? Did they get a call to action to follow up and do more? Like, what do they walk away with in this video? And I don't want you to spend hours and hours and hours writing down hook, story, peak, reward. I don't want you to do that. I just want you to be intentional about it when you're making your next video. Okay? I want you to be intentional. This is like each of these videos that I've just shown you that have millions of views. I can point out the exact moments. And we could do that with the next 10 videos, my most viewed videos. You can point out, right? How do we have those in the video? So the framework in action, the hook example. Nobody tells first-time gun owners this. What a great hook. In fact, challenge. I want you to make a video. Everybody take a picture of this. I want you to make a video this week that has these elements. The hook. Nobody tells first-time gun owners this. Literally, make a video this week that says the answer to this, right? The hook is nobody tells first-time gun owners this. I want everybody to make a video of this. Nobody tells first-time gun owners this. Then tell a story, whatever you want, okay? It doesn't have to be my story here. And then give a peak, and then give a reward, okay? And don't, use my story, my peak, and my reward. I want you to use your own story, your own peak, and your own reward. It can be something that happened in the classroom. It can be something that happened on the range. You can use B-roll, but I want you to make a video that starts with, nobody tells first-time gun owners this. I want you guys to do that this week, okay? I'll follow up in the chat to show you that too. I want you to make a shareable video, a viral video on this. Nobody tells first-time gun owners this, right? And then give a story, a peak, and a reward. So I want you to apply this concept to what you're already filming. Remember, I want you to start filming everything. So I want you to apply this to what you're already filming. I want every class, every moment that you're publishing to have a hook moment. Every customer interaction has a story. Every teachable moment has a peak. Every transformation is a reward. You don't need a script. You just need a camera to be recording, okay? And so your next challenge, 7 more videos in 7 days, but I also want you to hit that one video as one of your 7. I want you to create a video that starts with, nobody tells first-time gun owners this. That's your video of the week. Nobody tells first-time gun owners this. Sean, everybody, I want you to record a video and just be walking through the gun store or wherever you're at. Nobody tells first-time gun owners this. And then give your story, your peak, and your reward. Okay? Story, peak, and reward. All right? And so, guys, that leads me over to questions. I brought the video team in today also so that you can ask specific CapCut or video editing questions. I'd love to hear from you guys on your questions here for the remainder of the call.
Andy, we're just making social posts, right? That's it?
Yep, this is all organic content. That's what this entire series is on, is organic content. Byron Matthews, what tools are you using to do all this? So I use Adobe Premiere. I think it's the best because I'm an old dog and it's tough to teach me new tricks. Everybody else in this room uses CapCut. In fact, when I put out a video job description for my video editing guys, I put out Adobe Premiere must be used, but apparently they use CapCut too, which is fine because we're winning. And so everybody I think in the room is in agreement that CapCut is better for them. And so if you want to use CapCut, that's fine. Use whatever tool that you want, but CapCut I think is the general consensus. And guys, if you want to unmute to ask your questions, feel free to unmute. Chris, good to see you back.
Your editing tool that, or your editing folks, pardon me for not mentioning by name, I don't remember which one. You mentioned another tool that was being used in conjunction with CapCut.
One of my video editors can jump in on this.
Yeah, I think she was referring to Submagic.
I think she was too.
Actually, you've been using CapCut for the whole time, and I think Mike is the one who's really good at Submagic. He's been getting contents from there, also for the hooks.
Yep, submagic.io, I believe it is, and it's like $15 a month for the base package. And what it does really well is it adds captions to the videos so that the words are captioned so that you can do that automatically. You can do that in CapCut too. It adds captions to the videos. And the more important thing is you can upload like an hour-long piece of content and it'll slice it up into what it believes is hook, story, peak, and reward. Tammy said Submagic was mentioned, and somebody else in chat. Steve says, are those videos paid ads or just uploaded as reels? Okay, this is really interesting. So there are a lot of times where my guys, Henry, Mike, and Jediah, my guys and gals, will send over content for organic. And I noticed that content for organic would be amazing for ads as well. And so what I asked them to do is add a 5-second call to action on the end. So this can be multi-purposed. Your best videos should become ads. If people are already watching it organically, they're going to watch it on ads too. Just add a 5-second call to action at the end. The 5-second call to action can just be you. Hey, we've got our new Shooter Accelerator coming up on Saturday. Love to have you there. Click below to find out more. Boom, ad done on content you've already created, on content that's already going crazy, right? Huge, huge, huge win on that. Eureka says, what microphones and stands is everybody using? Okay, so I use this guy. It is the DJI mini mic. It's a couple $100. They now have a version 3. This is what's on my chest right now. It's what I use for every piece of content that I create. It is wireless. It goes pretty far. It gets great audio quality, and it comes in a little kit with 2 microphones and the receiver. I plug the receiver into the bottom of my phone. Right now it's plugged into my computer for Zoom, but I plug it into the bottom of my phone, and that is what I use. A couple $100 at Best Buy. Awesome. Yep, go ahead.
So like one of the taglines that I usually use when I do like my reels, like the shotgun reel that I did several months ago, they got, I think, like 500,000 views or whatever. I always say, come train with us at Saddle River Range. So is it worth throwing that in there with the amount of time that you suggest we do these videos? And then on the descriptions on the side, do you have a link for your website that they can click on to get to your website to sign up for training? Because I'm trying to drive more people to come to train versus getting followers. I mean, there's a benefit to both, but
Sean, these are great questions. If you're creating organic content, don't put a call to action on it. If you've created that organic content and you're turning it into an ad, put a call to action on it. The organic content is to build followers and views who want to come find you and be involved in your community and your audience. So putting a call to action on it removes some of the reward. Right? It removes some of the reward because it makes them feel a little cheaper, right? Like, oh, it's just a business doing a thing instead of somebody actually teaching me, right? And so I would not put a call to action in an organic piece of content. But if that organic piece of content can also be used for an ad, you make a separate video of the same thing with a 5-second call to action, and now you've just created your next ad. The easiest way to create new ads. As far as links go, if you're on Instagram, the only link is the link in your profile. You can't use links on Instagram anyway. You can't put them in comments. You can't use them anywhere else. If you're posting on Facebook, you can add a comment as the top pinned comment on Facebook, but you do get dinged by the algorithm for that. So if you want to sacrifice your algorithmic a little bit, like, a few percentage points, then you can add that link. What you should be doing though is just we call it awareness, right? It's the type of advertising that Coca-Cola does, right? In their ads on TV, right? They don't have an ad that says, hey, stop what you're doing, go to the gas station, buy a Coke. but they just keep themselves top of mind, right? That's what they do. So that when people go to the gas station, they buy a Coke. But you never see them say, okay, now go to this gas station and buy a Coke, or go to Walmart and buy a Coke. They never say that because it's an awareness campaign. It's not a campaign based on direct response. And that's what organic content is. Organic content is not direct response, it's awareness. Direct response is paid ads. So paid ads always have a call to action. Organic content never does. Don't add a link. Have a link in your profile for them to go to your website or your offer. You can have a little link tree in your Instagram profile. On Facebook, if you have to add a link, you can, but I don't recommend it. Also have people go to your About page and click on the link. You actually get specific stats in your business manager that shows you how many people watched that video and then went and clicked on your link in your About Us page. That's the flow for them to get to you. What else, guys? We have time for one more. Yuri, thanks for the 1 million views. By the way, I think the video actually shows you in a great light too. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys joining. We'll see you next week. Get armed, get trained, carry daily along with the Republic. Goodbye, Warriors.